Good evening, everyone. Welcome to meeting number 130 of BKC Five Flies Toastmasters, the small wonder where we laugh a little and learn a little. I'm Toastmaster Sandhya, the Sergeant at Arms for tonight's meeting. Before we officially jump into the meeting, I would like to announce a few ground rules. Rule number one, please keep yourself on mute if you're not speaking, or unmute yourself only when you're asked to speak. But please do keep your videos on because all the speakers here would like to be encouraged by looking at your nonverbal gestures, your smile, and your hand gestures as well. So please keep your videos on, unless, of course, you're moving around the room and which might disturb the speaker. Rule number two that we would like to follow is please rename yourself if you're playing a role. So for example, if you're a speaker, please put speaker _ your name. If you're not playing a role, if you're a guest, please rename yourself as guest and your name, or Toastmaster and your name. The next rule is that at Toastmasters, we refrain from talking about sex, politics, and religion. So kindly do not try not to discuss these topics. This meeting is going to be recorded and it will also be shared later in the Toastmasters fraternity so that Toastmasters can self-reflect and learn from the meeting. Now, it's always good to have a mission, and we at Toastmasters have a club mission. The club mission statement is that we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With that, I would now like to hand over the meeting to the man who wears multiple hats. He is the president of BKC Five Flies Toastmasters. Tonight, he is not just the presiding officer, but also one of the speech evaluators and the Zoom master. And he often also covers up for the vice president public relations because currently we don't have that role filled. When he is not a Toastmaster, he is an entrepreneur working on his AI-based startup who likes to also solve word puzzles and crosswords. And he is a dad to a 3-year-old son. Toastmaster Sai Ramachandran, over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Sergeant at Arms. It is, as she said, meeting number 130. And the person you just heard is a stalwart economist, a PhD. She's a research fellow who's making waves in her chosen profession in research and in economics at Azim Premji University in Bangalore. So she is also a star in her own right, not just as a Toastmaster, but also as a professional and an educationist and a social scientist and a thinker. Speaking of all these people with great achievements, I have some fantastic news to share about some people who've stepped up to take over new responsibilities at BKC Fireflies. It is my pleasure, privilege, and with a great sense of relief, I would like to introduce you to, if I can find her on screen, Toastmaster Rashmi Agarwal. Why do I not see her anymore? There she is. Let me quickly add her to the spotlight. Toastmaster Rashmi has very graciously put her name forward to be the VP of Public Relations. The role that Sandhya just mentioned that I did will now be handled going forward by Toastmaster Rashmi Agarwal. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Rashmi, for stepping up. And let me just tell the world that you're a very new Toastmaster. You joined, I think, sometime in September, October. So hardly a few months.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sai, Sandhya, for the opportunity.
Yeah, and
looking forward to it.
All the ugly posters that I make will now be either made better by Rashmi or
uglier.
We've set the base, so we're going to use templates. We're going to keep it simple. So the next person responsible for keeping the BKC Fireflies name in front and center of the rest of the Toastmasters fraternity is in front of you. And that person is Toastmaster Rashmi Agarwal. Thank you so much, Rashmi. Another person just joined the meeting, and I'm not sure if he is connected. Yes, Ruchir, if you could turn on your video, I would like to introduce you to the club as well. because you also are taking up an important responsibility with BKC Fireflies as part of the XCOM starting. Technically, you started on the 1st of January, but there was a little bit of a delay, and now you're here. So, Richard, can you turn on your video if possible? Let's count to 3 because we don't want to hold people up. 1, Richard's video is off. 2, Richard's video, he's trying. All right. So once his video is on, I'll introduce him to the club as well. Now, what else do we have going on at BKC Fireflies? We have guests from all over the world who've joined us. So I was thinking about this, that we have roughly 15 people, and the good news is that technically the average number of DTMs is in the average number of DTMs held by people in this room, if you round it up, is 1. That means basically, given all the DTMs that people have collected in the room and divided it across 15 people, all of us have at least 1 DTM. And the DTMs I'm talking about are 1, DTM Mukta Nadkar, who has a lot of achievements against her name, being one being that she was the first woman president of the undivided District 98. If we're talking about Republic Day, we're talking about all those things. So there was an undivided India. There was a time when the Indian subcontinent was basically 1 or 2 countries, and India was one of them. The same way, District 98 at one point was an undivided District 98. And distinguished Toastmaster Mukta was the last, and they saved the best for last because she was the last district director, and she was the first woman district director of the undivided District 98. I'm very happy to have her with us. Thank you so much, Mukta, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
So, and among her achievements is that she has 5 DTMs. So if you could just carry over DTMs and distribute them, at least 5 of us, and 4 others in this room are now DTMs because of Mukta. Thank you so much, Mukta. All right, let me see if I can get Ramanathan into the mix as well. Is your video on, Ramanathan? Yes, there comes the video. Add spotlight. The second DTM in our room is distinguished Toastmaster Ramanathan, who I believe also has multiple DTMs. Mr. Ramanathan, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, because I didn't get a chance to talk to you before. If you could tell us when you got your DTMs, how many do you have? Do you have enough to give out to people like candy? I am distinguished Toastmaster Ramanathan, you're on mute right now.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good evening, everybody. I started my Toastmaster career from Saudi Arabia. The year 1998 onwards, I was involved in it, but I became a Toastmaster only in the year 2002. I should tell the story of being a guest for more than 3 years in Toastmasters journey. And I used to tell them that is the one decision of my life I always regret.
Wait, I need to understand. Do you regret the decision to be a guest, to have been a guest for 3 years, or do you regret the decision to transition from being a guest to a Toastmaster?
Then I had a journey from Saudi Arabia. I moved to Oman in 2008. I continued my Toastmaster journey in Oman. I became a DTM there. Then I came to Thane in 2014. Then again went back to Saudi Arabia for about 1.5 years. But I continued my Toastmaster membership in Thane Toastmasters Club. In 2017, we started another club in Thane, which is Godbandha Toastmasters Club. I am a dual member of both these clubs and currently weekly membership of Thane Toastmasters Club. Back to you.
Yes, so if you have friends and family in the Godbandar area or somewhere in Thane who are somewhere near Godbandar, and if you need a club to go to, I think Distinguished Toastmaster Ramanathan's club is definitely one to check out. Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Ramanathan. Ela, I know you came as a guest, and I know you said this is the first time you're here. You have no idea about Toastmasters, but maybe you could tell us what brought you here. What, apart from being a guest of Aditya?
So I've heard of Toastmasters before, but somehow or the other I could never join in, even as a guest. So I've been thinking for some time now because we are working. I work with the ICICI Bank in BKC. So you find that there is nothing creative that is happening, or sometimes you go to theater or something. But there is a lot of there is no creative outlet for something, for whatever creativity I might have. And when I was young, I was very much into debating or speeches, but that was a way that was long time ago. So I wanted to sort of initiate that, and because I've heard so much of Toastmasters, and I was sure of the fact that I'll meet some very good people here, great people, and then probably build yeah.
Right.
So basically, I want some creative outlet or something.
Right. So you're in the best place for that. There are some very, very, very other people in the financial industry who've moved on from the financial industry, investment bankers who've stopped being investment bankers and have turned out to be voice artists, people who have people have been exploring their creative side through Toastmasters. And Toastmasters, let me tell you, is not just about public speaking. It's about leadership. It's about building networks. It's about having things to do on a Saturday, because that, if you think about it, if you don't like traveling, if you don't like sitting in an auto or getting stuck in public transit, doing things from home is a great way to, doing Toastmasters, which lets you do things from home, is a great way to kill your time. All right. So thank you so much, Ila. Welcome to BKC Fireflies and welcome to Toastmasters.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Right. Let me quickly ask if Ruchir's video can be turned on or not, because I really want to make sure that people get to see Ruchir and say hello to him. I always feel that Ruchir is my spirit animal, because you'll see soon why. Now you know why. He's my spirit animal. So Ruchir, he's our incoming treasurer. He's kindly consented to watch the money. And the first thing he did when he joined the XCOM WhatsApp group was that I sent him a link from Toastmasters which said, here are the ways you can spend your money. So now Ruchir knows that we care. We want him to hit the ground running. So Ruchir, anything to share with the club about what you plan to do?
With the money?
Oh, no. That's between you and me, man. don't not with the club.
So I mean, it's been, I mean, one thing that I regret is that, I did not continue my Toastmasters journey when I joined it the first time. So I tried joining, I mean, I did join Toastmasters in 2012, but then I couldn't continue. And that's a regret, that I have, that I still have. But anyways, after like 10 years, I'm back. And this time I'm planning to continue and finish. Mm-hmm. So I am on my third speech in level 1, and I feel that this I already see improvements in the way I speak and in the way I talk. So I hope to learn much more in the coming days. So yeah, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for this platform.
Yes, and we are all super happy that you're joining us from all the way from Jakarta. So people who don't know, Ruchir could not make it to our meeting on Sunday because Ruchir unfortunately lives in Jakarta, and the only way he can meet us is online through Zoom. If Zoom goes down, then Ruchir is bereft of Toastmasters company. Speaking of meeting on Sunday, yes, the BKC's fraternity, the 10-12 people that are active in BKC Fireflies, we met on the Sunday which went past. We met in BKC. Sandhya and myself were in Mumbai. We got to meet everyone. We got to attach a body and a face to a name. And the good news is that one of our new Toastmasters, who has a habit of introducing herself every time she's on stage, did not do that when she met us in person. She did not say, hi, my name is Bhuvi and I'm from whichever company she works for. So we're already seeing signs of improvement, just like everybody else is saying. The Toastmasters is working for them. There's improvements everywhere. What else do I have to share? I know my time is almost running out. 7:13 according to the agenda means that I am almost out of time. But Fatima, please don't feel that I didn't notice you. Yes, you're a guest of ours from all the way from Pakistan. We will definitely talk to you at the end of the meeting when we have a little bit of a feedback session that we ask our guests to tell us what we did well, what we didn't do well. If you could give us the feedback at that time, great. I see a heart, so she's heard me and she's accepted my apologies. Do we have any other guests that we need to acknowledge? Aditya, yes, you're a guest. I know you're a guest in name only. You're part of our family now. You've been to our meetings a few times. Uma, let me see. I don't think I know who Uma is. Uma, is your video on? Oh, maybe not. I don't see Uma anymore.
I'm a Toastmaster.
But you're still a guest. We haven't seen you before. So
sure. Yeah, I'm a visiting.
All right, so we'll talk to you as well towards the end of the meeting. My time is really out. I'm already a minute late. So I am going to hand over charge of the meeting to the man who tells us that India is 75 years old. I did my math, and I think 1950 to 2024 is 74 years, but he has some reasons why he feels that India should be celebrating its 75th year as a republic starting very soon. And that man is the man you've seen so many times on stage. You've seen him with boxing gloves. You've seen him tell a story close to his heart about a girl he met in France who later on passed away, and he was not able to. This friendship transcended those moments, and he's still there in spirit with her. A man who speaks from the heart and reaches ours when he does. That man in front of you now is the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Pranav Advani, to take the meeting forward.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are having a very, 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 very good evening. It's a pleasure to be here today and be your Toastmaster of the day. On that note, starting off from where Sai left me with a question, can I request all of you to take out your cell phones and let's do some math? Please move to the calculator function in your cell phone, and then let's try to figure out how many years has it been since we are a republic. If you could just do 2024 minus the year in which we became a republic. I hope you know that year. And let me know what figure comes up on your screen. Anyone would like to unmute and quickly tell me? Yes, Sai is saying 74. Anyone else got a different answer? No, right? It's probably 74 that all of you got. 2024 minus 1950, the year in which we got independence. 50 years till 2020 plus another 24 gives us 74. And that's where we are. But for a country that invented zero and gave the world the decimal system, we have to remember that the year in which the first Independence Day is celebrated is the first, the first Republic Day is celebrated is the first Republic Day. So 1950 is the first Republic Day. So this year, 24 is going to be the 75th Republic Day. If you don't believe me, put it on a spreadsheet and you will be able to calculate it, because when you subtract the years, you need to add back a year. That's something that we learned in school when we're doing math, right? All right, let's do something fun again. Let's cook a meal. We are at 7:15 in the evening. I'm sure all of you must be hungry. We are very close to our dinner times. Let's cook a meal. Why don't we all go across the room and tell us one ingredient that's close to your heart that you would include probably in any meal. So it could be a main, it could be a spice, it could be anything, but something that represents you. So anyone would like to go first?
Olive oil.
Olive oil.
Salt.
Great. So someone said salt. Whenever I ask this question, everyone forgets salt. So who said salt? Whoever said salt, kudos to you. Very good, Kalpana.
Yeah.
Very good. Anyone else? Some ingredients, please. Your favorite ingredient. I will go. I'll say lady finger, because that's my favorite ingredient.
Sugar.
Anyone else?
Sugar.
Sugar. Okay. Anyone else? Lemon. Anyone else?
Coriander.
Coriander. Good. Anyone else?
As a South Indian myself, rice for sure.
Rice for sure. Great. Remember, we are cooking a meal, okay? So people, we need more ingredients. Indian meals don't get done with 6 ingredients. Any more ingredients? Very quickly.
Coconut.
Coconut.
Water.
Okay. Someone said water, I heard. Anything else?
Garlic, onions, tomatoes.
Okay, garlic, onion, tomato. I think we are fairly there with a meal. Oh, there's someone who's also said pepper. Thank you so much. So let me just recount the ingredients that we have, okay? And let's just visualize the meal that we are making. We have garlic, onion, tomato, and pepper to form the base. Then we add some coconut, we add some lemon, we put in some lady finger, and we fry all of it in olive oil. We put in some rice, we put in some sugar, and then we put in some coriander to top it. Does that sound like a very appetizing meal for you?
Confusing.
It's very confusing, right? It doesn't make sense. So many different things coming together probably might confuse you. It does not work in this meal, but it works very well in our country, because our country is a mixture of a lot of different cultures, people, personalities, religions, and all of it comes together to seamlessly form the India that we know and love. Do you know what is the significance of 26th January, the day that's coming in approximately 7 days from now? Before any of you say it's a dry day, let me tell you that it's actually the Republic Day. I'm sure that all of you will know that it's the day when the Constitution of India came into effect. We've all learned that in our civics lessons that we learned. I mean, because of the Constitution, we got another subject in our school. We have more than enough reasons to blame the Constitution. But the interesting thing that I like to ask everyone present in this room is that, do you know who was the first president of India? Anyone?
Lal
Radhakrishnan.
Bahadur Shastri.
Radhakrishnan.
Radhakrishnan.
Are you sure?
Dr. Rajendra Prasad.
Yes, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the first president of India. And did you know when did he become the president of India?
1950.
You would think that because I'm talking about 1950, but he actually became the president of India in 1947. But he became the president of the Constituent Assembly of India, an assembly that was left behind by the Britishers when they left India. They did not, India took approximately 2 years and 11 months to form its own assembly, own constitution, which went on to become the parliament of the country. Before that, they were being governed under the Constituent Assembly of India. And Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the first president of the Constituent Assembly, but he was also the first president of the Republic of India. So the Republic of India's first president was Dr. Rajendra Prasad in the year 1915, which is very interesting tidbit, right? Because our constitution is, in fact, the longest constitution in the world. And this is just something, this is a fact that I like to always throw out, that it has just 444 articles, and it has like 12 schedules, which encompasses the entire framework, which governs the very semblance of this country. So I think the biggest contribution of this constitution, like I said before, was the fact that we got a civic subject in school, which I'm pretty sure most of us didn't excel in. But do you know why this particular day, 26 January, was chosen as the day to be the Republic Day of India? Because approximately 20 years back in 1930, on the 26th of January, the then Indian National Congress declared Purna Swaraj, or complete independence from the British. From 1930, it took us another 17 years to actually gain the complete independence from the British. But that is why, to symbolize that day when INC declared Purna Swaraj, is why we celebrate 26 January as the Republic Day. Are any of you looking forward to the Prime Minister's speech on the Republic Day? Like, don't hold your breath, because the Prime Minister will not be speaking on the Republic Day. It's a tradition that the Prime Minister speaks on the Independence Day, while the President speaks on the Republic Day. Are you guys looking forward to the Republic Day parade? I mean, when we were growing up, it was a tradition, right? We would all watch the Republic Day parade from our homes in the morning. So yeah, we are 75 years young. We are a young, vibrant country. We are awesome in our own right. And I'll shortly discuss with you why we are awesome. But before that, I'd like to remind you of a couple of interesting things about India. The first interesting thing about India is that, like I said also before, that the place value system or the decimal point system was developed in India. The zero was invented in India. So let's just admit that, or let's just accept that Indians are extremely good at quant and like they say, quite focused on being accurate. To ensure that we remain accurate like that throughout the meeting, I'd like to invite the first role player of the day, the timer, who will be played by Mahesh. Mahesh, can I please request you, Toastmaster Mahesh, can I please request you to switch on your video and explain your role for the day and ensure that and tell us how is it that we're going to remain accurate throughout the meeting.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and a very good evening to all of you and all my dear friends. So I am given the role of very critical role of a timer. So I'll be noting down the time for each task. The first task will be the prepared speech. So the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. So for qualification, minimum 5 minutes is required for the speech. And after 5 minutes, one green card will be displayed. At the end of 6 minutes, a yellow card will be displayed. At the end of 7 minutes, a red card will be displayed. And you will be getting 30 seconds grace time. But after 30 seconds, you will be disqualified. Means if you cross 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's regarding prepared speeches. The second thing is regarding the evaluation. So for speech evaluation, time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. So at the end of 2 minutes, the green card will be displayed. At the end of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the yellow card will be displayed. And at the end of 3 minutes, the red card will be displayed. Here also, you'll be getting 30 seconds grace period, after which you will be disqualified. And the last one is regarding table topics. The time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. So after 1 minute, the green one. After 1.5 minutes, the yellow one. And the end of 2 minutes, the red card will be displayed. And 30 seconds grace time. Afterwards, there will be disqualification. So at the end of the session means I'll be giving my report regarding the qualification, disqualification, and the time taken by each one of the participants. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mahesh. Did you know that India is actually the second largest country in the world that speaks English? To uphold this record, even going forward, I would like to invite another very, very critical role player, the grammarian. And that role player is Toastmaster. This role is going to be played by Toastmaster Kalpana. Can I invite Toastmaster Kalpana on the stage, please? Toastmaster Kalpana, over to you. Please explain the role that you'll be playing today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. Well, as he said, yes. Not only does English help us to communicate better, but the more stronger our vocabulary, I always feel that will help us to take a 500-gram tablet instead of 250 grams, 2 tablets. That means it makes us concise, it makes us clear, and at the same time, we communicate with a dynamism that makes us a good speaker as well as a writer. So, grammar is important, and so is the word of the day. But before I go over to the word of the day, let me tell you one thing that today I'll be noting down good English, bad English, and the quotations that might be spoken today. Let me tell you the word of the day. The word of the day today is collie wobbles. Collie wobbles is actually derived from the word called colic, and wobbles is a German word which means we shiver. Colics, wobbles means when you're terrified, when you're afraid, when you're reduced to a nausea feel. All right, so collie wobbles. I felt the collie wobbles when I was asked to speak for the first time on the stage. So technically, to make it simpler, it makes to be nervous. Let me come down to the phrase of the day. I found this day in, day out a wonderful phrase, which definitely means repeatedly, continuously, again and again, all day, every day. So let me just give you an example. Day in, day out, he kept humming the song that was playing on the radio, and he gave us all a headache. And who was that person? My child. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kalpana. I'm feeling collywobbles in the pit of my stomach because I thought that I need to use the word collywobble during the meeting. Would induce the collywobble in anyone, not just me. I hope I did that right. If not, I mean, I'm suffering from collywobble because I know that I'm going to get to know the result of my question at the end of the meeting. But a very interesting fact that I'd like to also leave you with today, that India has never invaded any country in her last so many years of existence. Surprising, right? I would like to remind you to remember this policy of non-violence when you hear the R counter report from the R counter of the day today, Toastmaster Suniva. Toastmaster Suniva, can I please request you to come on stage and explain your role, please?
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. So my role today as our counter will be to note words and phrases, sounds that are used as crutch or fillers. So I would listen to all these filler sounds, usually those which is common for those who feel collywobble, and I will listen to all these words like and, well, but, so, and also to words like and also those which are kept on repeating again, like I, this means. And at the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times each speaker has used in their expressions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Suniva. With that, I'd like to move to the first major section for today, which I like to call the Gladiators Arena. And I like to invite the prepared speakers of today, the three prepared speakers of today, to come forward. There's a slight rejig in the order of speakers that was presented in the agenda. We'd be starting with a speaker 2 first. So can I invite distinguished Toastmaster Mukta to please come forward, and before that, her evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Ramanathan, to please state the objectives for distinguished Toastmaster Mukta's speech for the day. Distinguished Toastmaster Ramanathan, over to you. You're on mute.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Good evening once again. Today, Toastmaster Mukta Natkar is going to give her level 2 project number 3 from the Pathways Presentation Mastery, Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. And the objectives of this particular project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring, and also for the member to share some aspects of her previous experience as a protege. Timer to note, it is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to Distinguished Toastmaster Mukta Natkar. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ramanathan. Toastmaster Mukta, can you see the timer on the screen? Perfect. Just to check your audio, can you please repeat? I don't suffer from any collywobbles.
I don't suffer from any collywobbles, but that will be a lie.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mukta. You're audible and visible. My Mukta Natkar, my mentor, my inspiration. My mentor, my inspiration, Mukta Natkar.
In Toastmasters, the measure of a good mentor is to be a good guide, a role model, and someone who has the time to help members achieve their goals. In real life, it is no different. From the time we are born, we are learners, we are mentees, we are protege. And whether it be in school, college, in a dance class, in a music class, as an intern at work, or even as a daughter-in-law, we are constantly learning. And we always aim and aspire to emulate our mentors. Let me tell you, I was no different. I too watched, listened, spoke, stumbled. But then I got up and grew and I evolved to be the person I am today. And it was thanks to all the mentors, to all my teachers, and all the well-wishers. But there was one person that needs special mention. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening or good day, wherever you are. Now imagine somebody who is 4 foot something, maybe 5 foot, slightly dark, slightly stout, with thick, dark-rimmed glasses, her hair tied up in a bun, and wearing an off-white sari. Now imagine that same person in a boardroom with the directors of the Taj group of hotels, the Oberoi, the Leela, and other hotel groups. And there she stood, tall, elegant, graceful, knowledgeable. She was Padma Shri recipient, Miss Angam Philip, principal of the Institute of Hotel Management and Catering Technology. Excuse me. She was the recipient of many awards in her lifetime. And she was my mentor, my inspiration. When I was in catering college for 4 years, I was in absolute awe of her. I wanted to be like her. I wanted to do everything like her and emulate her. And I knew that I could achieve this with enough watchfulness and the willingness to learn. And so I did it. I watched, I learned, and I learned lessons. And I say I learned life lessons. And why life lessons? Because they just weren't for college days. They were the lessons that I learned for the rest of my life. And they hold me in good stead even today. So what were some of the lessons I learned from my mentor as a protege? Today, I'm going to talk about 3 lessons that I learned, which are so meaningful to me. The first lesson was about being disciplined and on time. Miss Philip was never late for class. She was never late for a meeting, and she expected the same of us. In fact, if she was my first lecture, I had the collywobbles if I was going to be late. But that soon became a habit, to be on time every time. And the 10 years I was a teacher, I am proud to say that I was never late a single day to go to school. That was the impact of the learning that I had. And today, even in Toastmasters, we start our meetings on time and we end. And that is a lesson that we take forward to our mentees. The second lesson I learned was the power of knowledge. Miss Philip was the ocean of information, and she always believed that knowledge is king. And that is why, in spite of being diminutive in stature, she could stand so big. She was larger than life in that boardroom. Because she had the knowledge and she had the power. In fact, for 40 years, the hospitality industry looked up to her, respected her. That was a lesson I too learned, that knowledge gives us the confidence to do what we can do best. And so today, even in Toastmasters, if we have the knowledge of what is there in that contest rule book, we can do very well as a chief judge, because we know all the rules. So knowledge is important because that gives us the confidence. And the third lesson I learned very importantly as a mentor, and something that I pass on to my mentees also, is the feeling of support. If you do not get support from your mentors, you really can't do much. Miss Phillip could make or break a career, but if she supported you, she was always there for you. She helped us get summer assignments in hotels, and she helped us in our careers. But most importantly, a story that I remember very specially is that in my 4th year, I was expecting my first child. And she knew that I could not go to the Taj and work in the industry like all my colleagues. So she found an assignment for me to do in college. And that assignment was to prepare the Hawkins pressure cookery cookbook. That was the kind of support she lent. And today, as I take that lesson and become a good mentor, I know how important support is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost 47 years since I passed out of college and Miss Phillip is no more, but her teachings will never die. The way I live my life today is testimony to all the things that I learned from her, my mentor, my inspiration. And as Whoopi Goldberg sums it up so beautifully, we have a life for a reason, and a bit of that reason is to throw light so that people can be led from the darkness. Miss Phillip lived for a reason. The light torches she threw shine all over the world, including my world. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Mukta. Can I now request Toastmaster Ruchi to please come forward, and Toastmaster Kashif, who's the evaluator for Toastmaster Ruchi, to please come forward. Toastmaster Kashif, can you please give the speech objectives for Toastmaster Ruchi?
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. The speaker, Rucher, is going to attempt a speech titled Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance her speech. I wish Rucher all the best.
Toastmaster Rucher?
You are on mute.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Toastmaster Rucher, you're visible. Can I request the timer to put the timer on full screen mode, please? Just make the Chrome window full besides the X window. Click on the maximize button. Till the time this happens, Toastmaster Ruchi, can we do a quick audio check? Can you just say that day in and day out, I'm very happy to smile?
Day in and day out, I'm very happy to smile.
Excellent. You're both audible and visible. I hope you can see the timer on the screen.
Not yet.
The timer is visible to me. Can you see
Okay,
a
so
Chrome window?
yeah, I can see it. Yeah, okay.
Perfect, perfect. So, Ruchir Prasoon, tuition teacher, Ruchir Prasoon.
So, as much as I think that, my life has been super boring, but I had my own share of fun when I was a kid. So there was a tuition teacher who used to come at home to teach me. He wasn't a very good teacher, but anyways. So one day he was trying to make me understand something and I wasn't getting it. So as expected, he tried, but I wasn't getting it even after like multiple tries. So as expected, he raised his voice and he pulled my ear. Now, I had my own share of, scolding and beating, so it wasn't something very new to me. But then my grandfather was in the next room and watching. And I didn't realize that, when he came in the room, but then he started scolding my teacher with such finesse. And I never knew that, he also knew English and he could scold someone with such finesse. He went on like, "Rascal, how dare you touch him?" And then so on. So the tuition teacher left. He almost like ran away. Didn't even come back to collect his payment for the month. And after that day, my respect for my grandfather shot through the roof. So after this incident, I realized that, tuition teachers are easy to trifle with, easy to mess with. So I started searching for targets. So it was summer vacation time, and it was time for me to go and live in my village and have fun with my cousins. So I started looking for targets there. And some of my cousins were like quite old, quite muscular, quite bulky. And even they had teachers coming to home to teach them. And it was quite a scene to see all my elder cousins who were like so elder to me. It was quite a scene to see them, touch feet of the teacher and say that, Acharji, please have a seat. Took me some time to realize that, it's actually Acharya ji, and not Acharji and Acharji. But anyways. And more fun was, seeing them get a severe beating and severe scolding for like silly mistakes which they used to do. So I realized that, this is not the man that I should mess with. I started looking for more softer targets. So there was this other guy who used to come and teach my other cousin, who was of my age and was in the same grade at school. And he was a bit short, he was a bit lean, and not very intimidating. So I started looking for my own opportunities. I started sitting in that tuition class with my cousin. And I have usually been sharper than my peers at school. So I started realizing that, hey, you're doing mistake here, and hey, you're doing mistake there, and so on. And many times I was actually correct. But this tuition teacher was very patient. He never responded, he didn't care, and things continued smoothly. So nothing was happening. There was no, things were not getting spiced up, and I wanted something to happen. And summer vacation was flying by. It was almost coming to a close. So I decided to take things a notch higher. Next time when I noticed the mistake, I not only pointed it out, but I also was quite brutal in saying that, hey, I think you should not be doing this. You should be doing something else. I know it was quite harsh, but I was looking for something else. And then Pat came, my aunt from the other room. I thought that, she will take my side, given that, I pointed out so many things. But then she quickly realized who was creating the nuisance. She grabbed me by the ear and then took me out of the room. I was very disappointed. But anyways, my trust with teachers continued for a very long time. Even at school and colleges, whenever there was a power cut and the room went dark, my God, you should be there to listen to the sounds that we used to make, and I was one of them. My God. So that continued for and we had like so many other incidents, troubling teachers and making fun of them. But now when I have kids of my own and I see that how difficult it is to make them learn anything at all, I think that the teachers that I have encountered in my life really did a great job. They were very patient. They had an inner sweetness of nature to deal with us lovingly and kindly. And I don't think I can ever do a job like that in my life. So thank you to all my teachers. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ruchir. Can I now request Toastmaster Fazal to please come forward and his evaluator, Toastmaster Sai. Toastmaster Sai, can I request you to please state the objectives for Toastmaster Fazal's speech? You're on mute, Toastmaster.
Hang on. Toastmaster Fazal has been asked to understand what goes into making a persuasive speech, and his project is to this time give a speech to this club in order to persuade us. And that is what I'll be using to evaluate Toastmaster Fazal in his speech. Timer, please note that Toastmaster Fazal's speech is 5 to 7 minutes long.
Toastmaster Fazal, can we please have you on the screen?
Yes, can you hear me?
Toastmaster
Am I
Fazal,
audible?
yes, we can hear you. Can you please reconfirm that your speech title?
Yes, my speech title is How.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That was also your audio test. You're both audible and visible. Fazal Akbar. How? How? Fazal Akbar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. I see so many beautiful faces in the screen and glimmering with hope and aspirations. And I believe everyone here is with the intention of improving your communication skill. In fact, there are millions of people out there who want to improve their communication. But the question is, how? Fellow Toastmasters, let me tell you a story of my son. I have a son now 15 months old. By the time of his first birthday, he could not sit upright. Unlike the children of his age, he could not walk. His humility was so profound that he would not speak a word when let lie down on a bed for hours. By the age of 1, he looked more like a 4-month-old baby. And the question was how to help him grow. With that, we took him to a doctor. The doctor examined him thoroughly, scrutinizing from head to toe and inquiring comprehensive questions about his medical history. And we told him everything. And after a meticulous assessment, the doctor settled down on his chair. And following a brief period of reflection, he gazed at me and said, Mr. Fazal, what do you do? And I said, I'm a Toastmaster, sir. And in a hint of surprise in his face, he said, oh, that's interesting. What exactly does a Toastmaster do? And I said, we talk. And he said again, talk? That I guess everyone does. What especially you talk about? And I told him that we talk on many topics. We talk on table topics. We do prepared speeches and do evaluations. Then he said again, basically you learn to talk. So tell me, how do you learn it? And I told him that we learn it by doing this. With that, he rose up from his seat and rushed towards me and embraced me as though I had told him the secret of his life. And then he said, Mr. Fazal, go and talk with your son. Fellow Toastmasters, over the journey back, we pondered over the situation and realized that everything was normal with our son. The only issue was his tendency of not talking, not crying like other children. And the solution was obvious. We needed to talk to him and engage him in activities and help him learn by doing. And that's how we could help him grow. And that's exactly we did. And believe me, fellow Toastmasters, in only 2 months' time, he paced up with the children of his age. And now he speaks confidently and plays actively. Not only that, he wants to join a Toastmaster club as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this reminds me of a research finding in a book highlighted in a book, Arts and Fear, authored by David Bells and Ted Orland. It's about a story in a class divided into two groups, tasked with creating clay pots. Group 1 aimed at perfection with only one pot, while Group B was tasked to create as many pots as possible. And the purpose of the research was to find out which group would create high quality pot. And the result was shocking for everyone. Group A, aimed at perfection, ended up making just a lump of clay, far from perfection, while the Group B initially made an imperfect pot, but they learned valuable lessons from the mistakes and implemented them in the next attempt. And the next pot was better, and every subsequent pot was better than the previous one. In this way, they were not only able to produce high quantity of pots, but also they maintained the high quality. Hello, Toastmasters. The moral of the story is as clear as a day. The best way to learn something is by doing it. The more we practice it, the faster we grow. That's how we can be an eloquent speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Fazal. Can I please call upon the timer to present the timing report for all the three speakers, please?
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. So, Toastmaster Mukta took 7 minutes and 25 seconds. So she was lucky. Otherwise, it was just a matter of 5 seconds before disqualification. But she utilized maximum time allotted for the speech. So it was great effort. So Toastmaster Mukta took 7 minutes 25 seconds. Toastmaster Ruchi took 5 minutes and 35 seconds. And Toastmaster Fazal took 5 minutes and 37 seconds. So all of them qualifies for the contest. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mahesh, for that timer report. I believe that the gladiators arena should never remain empty. So before the blood dries, I'd like to now call upon Toastmaster Rashmi, who's our table topics master for the day, to tell us what our next competition is going to be.
Thank you, TMOD Pranav. So the theme that we have been talking about, running a republic, 75 years of being awesome. So hi everyone, I'm Rashmi, your table topics master for the day. What are table topics? They are something we experience in our life day in and day out, and also suffer wobbles, some more than the others definitely. So to define table topics for the guests, so they are an exciting journey into the world of impromptu speaking, where members can hone their skills in thinking on their feet. Imagine it as a crafting a mini speech, complete with a beginning, middle, and end, all within lightning 2 minutes. It's not just for those with speaking roles in the meeting agenda. Any member can jump in for their moment in the spotlight. Even guests are welcome to join the fun. So some ground rules: each speaker is required to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Participants are disqualified after 2 minutes 30 seconds. Speakers are encouraged to use the word of the day, collywobbles, and phrase of the day, which is day in and day out. And then somebody has said you need to be the harshest critic to grow further. Hence, the table topics would let us explore both sides of after 75 years of being republic. So who would like to dive in first? So maybe first, I would like to invite upon Speaker Mukta, if it's okay. Speaker Mukta, are you there?
I don't think I see Mukta in the meeting anymore.
She's there.
She's there.
Yeah.
Table topping master Rashmi, do you want to maybe try and request some of our guests to come in and speak till the time Toastmaster Mukta can sort out her audio?
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah,
So,
I'm here, but maybe she can give someone else a chance.
sure, sure, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, can I invite Meenal Bhanushali? Are you a Toastmaster? I would like to start with a Toastmaster, and then maybe, some of the guests, if they want, they can attempt who are not a Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Meenal is traveling right now. She just messaged on the chat.
Okay. So, then, Sa Sandhya, would you like to start?
Sure.
Okay. So, the first topic is evolving definition of patriotism in last 75 years. Toastmaster Sandhya, evolving definition of patriotism in last 75 years.
Well, the world is evolving as humanity evolves. And patriotism, especially I think in a country like ours, has definitely evolved in the past 75 years. I wasn't, and most of us, maybe except for DTM Mukta, as she said in the beginning, weren't here when India became a republic. But based on the history books that we have read, we know that patriotism 75 years ago was all about feeling for the country, the new India that was independent. It was about being self-independent. It was about industrializing the country. It was about bringing people out of poverty. It was about taking the country and the nation ahead. It was about India becoming a known country and the global stage. Fast forward it to 2024. What are we talking about today? Are we talking about the same things? Well, if you think about it, more or less, we are talking about the same things. We still talk about poverty in India. Although the numbers have come down drastically, we still have a large proportion of the country that still remains in poverty. We are still talking about India becoming a superpower. Yes, our competitors have changed. Our competitors are now the US, the China. We probably not no more talking about the British, but still we are making an effort to become a global power. So I would say that yes, some things have changed in the past 75 years, but our main goals still remain the same. We never talk about industrialization. We don't talk about those 5-year plans, but we still want our economy to better. We are still talking about rising numbers in unemployment. So overall, I would think that yes, 75 years have passed, but our main goals still remain the same. We are still struggling to make our country an awesome one. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandhya. So now, any volunteers for the next table topic? Yeah, so grammarian Kalpana. So as Pranav likes to say, welcome to the arena. So your topic is walking a tightrope, balancing progress and social issues. So walking a tightrope, grammarian Kalpana. Walking a tightrope, grammarian Kalpana.
My bad, I had just left the seat and I have missed the title.
No worries. So the topic is walking a tightrope, balancing progress and social issues. Toastmaster
Thank you.
Kalpana. Yeah.
Thank you, Tabletop Master Rashmi, for that wonderful topic. Walking a tightrope. Yes, as we gained independence, it was not just to be independent from the Britishers, but also from a lot of social shackles that actually bound us to an age that wouldn't have gelled well with the modernity that was being ushered in. I would really like to narrate an incident that happened in my mother's life to tell you all how social and the progress that we currently are experiencing as women in independent or Republic India of 75 years. When my mother was getting married, she was just having a cover on her head. That's the pallu was there on her head, and she was not, in a way. Instantaneously, my paternal grandma took objection, saying that during those days, women got married with the veil that fell up to their chest level. But my maternal grandfather, that's my mother's father, just told them that my daughter, based on the modernity that is now coming in my country, after having observed the world, I do believe that we need to let go of Parda system. But yet, of course, still my paternal grandma protested. So my grandfather, the maternal grandfather or Nana said, well, she is my daughter till I give Kanya Dan or hand over my daughter to your son. After that, you can put any rules that you want to on her, and I'm not at all going to protest. Hearing this, my paternal grandfather, that's my father's father, liked his forward thinking. Socially, we were becoming a progressive society, and the balance is very, very visible. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalpana. So I can see Toastmaster Manoj has raised his hand. So next topic goes to him. So India, a beacon of hope and inspiration for the world. So a beacon of hope, Toastmaster Manoj. Toastmaster Manoj, a beacon of hope.
Won't you agree with me if I say India has always been a beacon of hope for the complete humanity? There are times when people said the golden bird in the world is India. Maybe we didn't have this name that time, India. We used to call ourselves Bharat. Talk about wealth of knowledge, or even real wealth. We are far ahead of other countries. Those ancient wisdom that was stored in Nalanda, Taxila, people used to flock from different parts of the world to come and learn wisdom. Nowadays, it's the information boom. But that time, it was wisdom that was blooming in India. So day in and day out, we used to have visitors coming to learn that wisdom. So that beacon of light was there. In between, of course, like our life, your life, everybody's life. Yes, it goes like the waves of the sea. With so many people coming in. But the uniqueness of India is we accepted all their faith. We accepted their different pattern of dressing sense, their cultures and whatnot. By accepting, we have become richer. And this is what we're teaching to the world. Accept to excel. And at this juncture, with great leaders we are looking up to, yes, India is again on its march ahead. Recently concluded with a group of 20 nations where it was declared Vasudevam Kutumbakam. What a wonderful idea. Don't you think? That's the beacon that is showing to the world. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manoj. So the next, I would like to invite another guest. So Fatima, Toastmaster Fatima. Yes. The topic for you is, sorry, I can't see. Yes, there you are. So the topic for you is the elephant in the room. Significant challenges which probably are ignored. So the elephant in the room, Toastmaster Fatima. Toastmaster Fatima, elephant in the room.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Table Topic Master, for inviting me with this interesting topic. While this interesting topic is still giving me collie wobbles, that how to explain the elephant in the room, which is significant challenges that I face. Yeah, sometimes we see and face elephant in our room that comes all of a sudden, and we don't know how to make ourselves adaptable for that situation, and we all are very nervous and having collie wobbles because it is not a day out, it is not a part of our day in and day out. But still, what we need to do is to remain hopeful and persistent, being stick to our thoughts that we will overcome these situations, and remaining hopeful and hoping for the best is the best thing when you can do when seeing a elephant in your room. So I recommend all of you to please never lose the beacon of hope in your lives. Always remain stick to that, catch that light, luminous your whole world, because it is the only thing that can propel towards success when you see an elephant in your room. So this is from my side. Back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fatima. So the next we have Ela. We have Ela Bisht. Would you like to participate?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So the topic for you is टेढ़ा है पर मेरा है, टेढ़ा है पर मेरा है. Ela Bisht, टेढ़ा है पर मेरा है. Ela Bisht.
Okay, so this topic is definitely giving me collie wobbles. Yeah, so I wonder where this line has come from, Teda hai par mera hai, the history of it. So just asking, the language of speaking has to be in English only, right? Because we are using a...
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah. So there have been like if I talk about the line itself, it signifies the thought that even if this something seems odd to a viewer or a person who is viewing it from a situation from a different perspective, to them it might not make sense, but to the person who is experiencing it or who has accepted it, for them it is something that is acceptable or something that they like. So just for an example, there are people who might go to theater or might not and there are people who are definitely not interested in cinema or any such pursuits. And so in a way it can also be this is my cup of tea, it might not be yours. Generally it's the phrase is not used for situations, it's generally used for an individual, that in my life there are friends, like I have been friends with people and I have encountered some amazing people wherein my relationship with them, or say for example my father, sometimes the way he is, some people will say, or my friends might say, Ki, how do you make sense of what he talks, because he's from a different generation altogether, but we are very good friends in life. So I would say that for my father, I would say that Teda hai, but he's my father. So yeah.
Thank you, Ela.
Welcome.
So Toastmaster Mahesh, do we have time for one more topic? Okay, any volunteers for the next table topic? I see Cyril online. Cyril, would you like to volunteer for the next table topic?
Rashmi, we have a volunteer. Aditya
Oh,
wants
sorry.
to...
Okay, great. So Aditya. So the topic for you is your memories of Republic Day. Toastmaster Aditya,
Yes.
your topics of Republic Day, your memories of Republic Day.
Okay. Thank you for that topics master. Republic Day, for some reason, it reminds me of horror from childhood, because although Republic Day is a national holiday, but for us, for children, we were made to do march past in the scorching heat in the playground. I remember we used to practice after the school hours. We were made to stay back on 24th and 25th of January, where we used to practice march past, mass drill, and we used to sing patriotic songs together. And on 26th of January, while the entire nation is celebrating their holiday and the constitution framework at homes, we were made to walk in scorching heat in school. But one thing that made me realize that no matter we did spend time together in our schools during the holiday, but at the end of the day, there was a sense of togetherness when we went home. It felt like we did something other than studies. We danced together, we stayed together, and we remembered the value, the essence and substance of the country together. And therefore, it did evoke a patriotism in me for the first time while celebrating Republic Day and Independence Day at school. Although I am very bothered about the timings and the heat that we were made to do all of these things. Over to you, topics master.
Thanks for such a wonderful story. So who would go next? Toastmaster Cyril, yes, I can see. No, that's a clap. Would you like to go next for the table topic? Because everybody else is doing a role. So any volunteers?
I'll go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. So I have a specially curated topic for you, expressing our so expressing our 75-year journey in verse. Toastmaster Cyril, expressing our 75-year journey in a verse. Over to you.
Well, I'm supposed to give a speech by doing this, but think of the last 75 years, I'm truly speechless. I don't know where to start, honestly. Let me tell you this. I come from a village, all right? And in our village, we had electricity sometime in the late 80s. So whenever I go to my ancestral house, I've actually had dinner sitting next to a diya, a lamp. We've actually traveled to office by spending more than 40 minutes by road. There was once when I was traveling from Lower Parel to the airport for a Delhi flight. It took me 3 hours to get there. And the Delhi flight, the Bombay-Delhi flight is just 2 hours. Looking at all of that and looking at where we are right now, I think it doesn't feel like 75 years. It actually feels something like 200 years. The days of the past, even 80s, seem like so much of it feels like a distant memory. Today, I don't worry about going to the markets and not having currency, because you can always flip your phone out and do that Google Pay or a Paytm or whatever. It doesn't feel like we're living in the same country anymore. At the same time, we need to. It's not always fun. There is always a problem of crowded trains. Real estate prices go up. I believe that while we are progressing ahead as a country, there are also other problems that come with progress, and not all progress comes with cuddly memories. But then one thing that I always look back and applaud, number one, is a foresight that the multiple governors and our forefathers had. And I hope that this foresight would be something that we, along with our millennials, we will take it forward, so that at the end of the 150th year, we can look back and we can think of another glorious 75 years that has passed. So, yep, back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cyril. So thanks everyone for being such a Toastmaster, such a sport, or like I rightly said, such a Toastmaster, for participating. So over to you, TMOD Pranav.
Thank you so much, Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Rashmi. Can I request Toastmaster Mahesh to please just let us know if all speakers have qualified? Just that much is enough in the interest of time.
Yeah, all of them are qualified. So congratulations to all.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mahesh. Like I say, that the arena should never be empty, and for all the wonderful competition, the speeches, and both prepared and unprepared, the wonderful, the not so wonderful that we've seen today. Can we have a big round of applause for all the speakers today? And to actually figure out who did the best as we near the end of our meeting, can I request the general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Aditya, to please come forward and take forward the next section of the meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I welcome you all to the third segment of a Toastmasters meeting, that is the evaluation segment, which is also known as the breakfast for the champions. So this article on giving feedback by Harvard Business Review says that feedback is a very complex leadership skill because more than 60-70% of the leaders get it wrong. Let me tell you how you get feedback right. If you are a leader or if you are any professional delivering persuasive, constructive feedback, remember these three things. Number one, when you deliver feedback, you create psychological safety. You make sure that the recipient is comfortable, feels safe while listening to your feedback, and that is only when they'll be able to implement the feedback. Second, always be appreciative when you deliver the feedback. And thirdly, answer why when you deliver the feedback. When you answer why, the recipient gets the reason and the motivation to implement the feedback. For example, when your direct report has done a very bad job with your Excel sheets, you don't go to that person and tell, oh my God, you did a very bad job. Why don't you work on it again? You tell them, your job was not in line with the management's expectation. So why don't you revisit it again and come back to me when there is a problem? So you also offer help in the end so that the person really feels motivated and energized to listen to what you just said. And let's see whether the members of today's meeting are going to receive this feedback and implement this in the next meeting. So going forward with the individual evaluations, that is the dedicated evaluators, let me first welcome evaluator number 1, Toastmaster Ramanathan, to evaluate speaker number 1, Toastmaster Mukta Natkar. Over to you, Toastmaster Ramanathan.
Good evening, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and my Harvard speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Mukta Natkar. I was very glad to see you delivering a very emotional speech and living through your life when you are interacting with your inspiring mentors and sharing with us your experience as a protege. You began with a bang, connected with the audience, and brought to the character of your mentor to us, and then lucidly moved into the body, explaining and elaborating how your mentor gave you the three main lessons with which you could groom into a better person in your life. What I liked was the wonderful language, the lovely language, like you said, the make and break, with also a lot of vivid imagery, bringing the characters in your stories to life. Good voice modulation, apt actions, and also coming to the conclusion and time and again bringing the events of this particular mentor inspiring you in your life made the whole speech a good one. In short, I will say, good job, well done, PJWD. Now, if I were in your shoes, I would have gone through the objectives very clearly, and one part which I felt was missed out was defining how Toastmaster envisions mentoring. A few lines on those matters would have enhanced the speech. One more thing which I would have liked you was to come with some facial expressions and an incident in which your mentor truly inspired you, bringing some conversational mode with your mentor, which will be living the life of that event in front of us. However, I really enjoyed the way you handled the situation when there was a disturbance, and I felt that there was no sense of nervousness or what we call as collie wobbles. I don't know exactly how you spell it. Collie wobbles. Am I right? And I felt as though you were giving speeches online day in and day out in spite of those disturbances. Overall, I would suggest that you continue with all the good points that you have, a good opening, body and conclusion, and also the voice modulation, apt actions, and those narrative style you are using, adding the spices of the recommendations given, like objectives to be fully understood and incorporated in the speeches, and coming with a good ending. Overall, I wish you all the best, and that will make again this speech into GJWD. As we will all say, Mukta, good job, well done, has become great job, well done. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you very much for that very wholesome evaluation, Toastmaster Ramanathan. It's time for me to welcome evaluator number 2. Please help me welcome evaluator Toastmaster Kadif to evaluate Toastmaster Ruchir's speech.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, and especially to the speaker today, Ruchir. Ruchir today told us a very wonderful story about his childhood and his tryst with his teachers. Now, let us see what are the things which I really liked about Ruchir's speech. Number one, I think, as they say, he started with a bang, and as they say, story well begun is half done. So definitely, I think there was a great start by Richard when he started with the hilarious story of how one of his teachers had misbehaved with him, and how his grandfather then came into the picture, and he handled that situation. So that was great. Number two, which I really liked about the speech, was the humor. Now, humor can enhance the speech and the delivery of any speech, and that was especially true about the story told to us by Ruchir today. He used humor throughout his speech to enhance his storytelling. And for example, when he started with the first story, and how that story gave him an idea about how he can also now mess with the other teachers subsequently in his life. And secondly, there was another episode where he was confused between achar and acharya. So that was also wonderfully done. Now the third thing is that which I really liked about his speech was that the speech was very relatable, and it was very nostalgic, because we can all relate to the stories about our childhood, and especially about some of the things, some of the nuisance, some of the mischief which we have done as children with our teachers, right? So those are the things, those are great things about his speech. Now let us see the things which he could have improved. So like I said, that he started very well, and he started with a bang, but a great story also needs a good conclusion, and I think that is something which was missing from the speech today, because I couldn't really understand the ending. It was very abrupt, and he ended by saying that thanks to all the teachers. So I think he could have done better over there. And the second thing which he could have improved, more importantly, was the purpose of the speech was vocal variety and body language. And so I think it was a perfect story to use some of his vocal variety, some of the body language to bring that story to life. For example, there were many instances when he could have used the vocal variety. For example, the incident with the grandfather where his grandfather came and saved the day, and he said, "Rascal, how dare you touch him?" Right. So some of those things he could have brought in. And secondly, like he said that, in his school, he used to make certain sounds. I think we would have loved to hear some of those sounds as well. So those are some of the things he could have done to improve. Overall, I thought it was a story wonderfully told, and we all really enjoyed the story. If he could improve some of the things which I talked about, I think Ruchir could really go to the next level. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you very much, Kadif. Now moving to the third evaluator for the day. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Sai to evaluate Toastmaster Fuzzle's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Sai.
Give me 1 second while I get Fuzzle on screen with me. There you go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to evaluate our third speaker for the evening, Toastmaster Fuzzle, whose speech was on persuading us as an audience. Toastmaster Fuzzle, one of the standout features of the speech, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that you went big. Big as in you encompassed the whole world when you talked about how it's a fear of everyone, not just people in Toastmasters, but the entire world is fearful of public speaking, and you were willing to give them the tips and tools required to get better at it. So you were looking not narrow-minded, not small bore, but huge, global in your scope. And I thought that was a really nice choice of yours to make your speech big and bold and brassy, the way a good speech should be. The other good thing about your speech was that there were so many moments, very subtle, but very interesting and funny humor. For example, you said to a doctor in the middle of a serious conversation about your child's health, you said, "Toastmasters talk." And that was really funny to me, because I was envisioning you sitting in a doctor's office. Your wife is next to you. Your child is in the room with you. The doctor is looking at you seriously and asking you, "What do you do?" And you say, "Toastmasters talk." That is funny to me. The other place which was humorous, was a 15-month-old child expressing interest in joining Toastmasters. I'm sure your son is a prodigy, and I'm very, very positive that he's a brilliant child. But at 15 months, if he wants to join Toastmasters, we have an international world champion of public speaking in the making, and you need to be very careful, because he's going to talk for a living. Then the other things that you use, some certain phrases which are really interesting, and certain ideas which you conveyed with very short and crisp wording. For example, you learn by doing. That was another way of getting the message across without using very complicated, very highfalutin language, which would collywoggle the brain. But day in and day out, you look like you use simple language, and that worked for you in the context of the speech. But there are a few places where I think a little bit of improvement is warranted. Your project requirement said that you have to speak on a topic and persuade the audience to come along with you. You're talking to Toastmasters, about the importance of public speaking. So I don't think that we're an audience which sort of is resistant to the idea of public speaking being important to people. So next time, to challenge yourself, I would maybe ask you to talk about something a little bit out of the ordinary. For example, we in India are celebrating Republic Day. Make us think differently about how the world sees us. Maybe tell us a few things that the world is not so supportive of India on, or talk to us about maybe a book that is controversial among your circle, and then you explain to them why that book needs to be interpreted and understood a little differently. So a little bit of stretching outside your comfort zone for this project was required. But all in all, I think the speech itself came across and was delivered really well. A few delivery questions a few changes in the delivery might also help. But overall, I think the speech is great, and I think it was funny. It was big scope, and it conveyed the message really clearly. So thank you so much for joining us for the speech, and all the best for your next speeches. Back to you, Aditya.
Thank you for that very effective evaluation, Toastmaster Sai. I'm sure Toastmaster Fuzzle really liked it and will implement it. Going ahead with the tag team's evaluation, now that the dedicated evaluators are done with their job, let's move ahead with the tag team's evaluation. And for that, I would like to call the tag team in reverse order. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Kalpana, Madam Grammarian of today's meeting, for the Grammarian's report.
Thank you, General Evaluator Aditya. And before I begin, I would like to tell you one thing. When Achar was mentioned, I literally was writing down as the pronunciation is wrong before the pronunciation was corrected as Acharya. As a grammarian, realized that it was a nice humor that was added to the speech. With that note, let me first tell you who all have actually told me the word of the day. Pranav, I think multiple time, count 3. Mukta, you told it twice when you were asked to repeat, and also in your speech, very well incorporated. Rashmi, Fatima has also said it twice, Ila, Ramnathan, and Sai. Thank you so much, each one of you, for utilizing this word. It has made me very happy. Let me now come across some good English. Spirit animal. Believe me, even I was now I'll have to have a spirit animal. Thank you, Sai, for that word. Close to his heart, transcended, cook a meal, seamlessly elegant. Why I have added cook a meal? I never thought we do cook a talk here, but not a meal. So that really had me in splits, as I thought it's a wonderful way of communicating. Seamlessly elegant ocean of information, testimony, finesse, intimidating, triced, pondered, wisdom, blooming, lucidly, emissions, nostalgic, some of the very good English words that we used. Let me come down to the quotes, just king of knowledge. We have a life for reason through light. It was too long, I couldn't copy it, but thank you, Mukta. That was a wonderful quote. Shot through the roof was a phrase, but well said. As clear as a day, again a phrase, but well put. Harshest critic to grow further. Fantastic. Evaluation is the breakfast for champion. Yes, it is well tuned, but it still gives you that flavor. It's a very good quote. Well begun is half done. Again, a very good quote. Not much when it came to bad English, but yes, there are a few observations and I would like to share it here with you. Hey, you're doing mistake here and there could have been put better by saying that you are just making a lot of mistakes in all segments of all that activity that you undertake. Who was creating a nuisance, who was creating the nuisance has been said, it should have been said as who was creating a nuisance. Of my son are out there. You do not need to actually specify, since the son itself doesn't have an S or doesn't have an apostrophe S to indicate that you're talking about just a son, not one among lot of sons. So there you will have to omit an to help you walk. No, to help him walk. In the context, it should have been better as to help him walk. He took surprise. It should be he looked surprised. What is special about your talking? What is special about your, I think you had said talk. It should be what is so special about you speaking or the speeches. You learn to speak or talk. And a wonderful story, and here the tip of this again was said. So there is the tip from a grammarian. Whenever you're using an that itself signifies one, and is used in front of a noun mostly, so ensure that you do not use it in front of adjectives or a verb. If you take care of where to use your and, believe me, the sentence construction is going to be flawless. Thank you so much, and over to you, General Evaluator Aditya.
Thank you very much. Now let's have the R counters report for today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Saniva.
Okay, so today's meeting, first Ruchir, there were many so's in his speech and many twinnings of the word like my, you know. For Kashif, there were many you know. For Ila, There were many so's, and rest, Mukta, Fazal, Ramanathan, Sai, Aditya, Sandhya, Kalpana, Manoj, Fatima, and Aditya, Cyril. You all were flawless. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now let's quickly move to the timers report for the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Mahesh, for the timers report.
Regarding the evaluation part, the only Kashif disqualifies. He overboarded by around 17 seconds, and rest qualifies for the contest.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Mahesh. Now comes the general evaluators report for the day. I wouldn't take much time because we're already running out of time. The meeting was supposed to start at 7 p.m. and it started at 7 p.m. So big round of applause for that. The Sergeant at Arms started the meeting with a bang, with absolute positivity and optimism. I really liked it. Presiding officer took the introduction of the guests and really made them feel comfortable. What I liked about the presiding officer's remarks were that he introduced the sergeant at arms as well, because the sergeant at arms is the only role player who has no introduction in the meeting. So thank you for actually taking that effort to do that. One recommendation to the presiding officer is to introduce Toastmasters to the guests. Tell the guests what Toastmasters is all about, what is the impact Toastmasters community has created, and what is the size of the Toastmasters fraternity. Now let's quickly move on to the role players. Timer, Mahesh, the R counter, and Madam Grammarian. Absolutely perfect description of the role, and there were absolutely no collywobbles while describing the roles to the audience. One small recommendation to the timer is to show the timer cards when you share the timing guidelines. That makes it even more demonstrating. Now let's move ahead to the prepared speeches segment. Speaker number one, Toastmaster Mukta, always a fan of your public speaking. What I liked about your speech is that you beautifully compartmentalize the entire speech into three parts, the three lessons that you learned from your mentor: punctuality, power of support, and power of knowledge. One recommendation to you is that you spoke for 7 minutes 24 seconds. You were just 6 seconds away from disqualification, and I was anxious already. So you can probably manage the time using the thumb rule 2:1. 2 minutes for one segment of the speech. 2 minutes for introduction, 2 minutes for the three pillars, the three lessons that you learned from your mentor, and finally the conclusion. 2 minutes for your conclusion. That makes 6 minutes. One more small recommendation to you is that I would have loved your speech even more had you amalgamated all these lessons together in the end. So when you become a mentor to your protege, you make sure that you are on time always. You make sure you're supportive all the time. And also, you provide abundant knowledge to your protege. That shows that these lessons have translated into a beautiful value system. Speaker number two, Toastmaster Ruchir. The highlight of your speech was personal stories. It was you were the hero of the speech. So I liked it very much. One small recommendation to you is that refrain from using virtual background, because your speech was about hand gestures and body movements. I couldn't see much of it. Finally, speaker number three, Toastmaster Faisal. The more you practice, the more you grow. That is the learning that I take from your speech. One small recommendation to you is that keep the camera device at eye level and look into the eyes of the members when you deliver the speech. Moving to the table topic segment, Toastmaster Rashmi, you urged everyone to use the word of the day and phrase of the day. The topics were aligned with the theme of today's meeting. So that is the highlight of your role. One small recommendation is to use the Toastmaster convention while introducing the speaker and the topic. The name of the speaker, topic, and name of the speaker. That makes it even more clear to the audience. All the dedicated evaluations did a really good job because they covered the why and the how of evaluation. One small recommendation to all the three evaluators is, why don't you share how you would have attempted this project had it been yours? How you would have done it differently. I think that will add a new perspective to your evaluation. Coming to the Toastmaster of the day, I was saving the best for last. Toastmaster Pranav, Your TMOD remarks were absolutely engaging. You asked questions, you were getting inputs from the members, and you were framing content accordingly. So it was a very genius hack. One small recommendation to you is to have a call for action in your TMOD remarks. How can we use this fire of patriotism to our advantage? I think that will you spread some awareness, and you also influence our behavior. That is how a TMOD should be doing. Otherwise, if I had to describe the entire meeting in one word, it was absolutely entertaining for me. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Aditya. It was a pleasure to have you here today. I'd now like to call upon the presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Sai, to take the meeting forward to its conclusion.
Thank you very much. And before I do anything else, let me quickly launch the polls so we know what the room thinks about different roles and speakers and evaluators and all those good things. And while that is happening, everybody can vote. It's not just the members or guests or something. Everybody should vote. Please tell me what you think about the speakers you saw, the role players you enjoyed. And while that's happening, let me quickly ask some of our guests to give us feedback. I don't think we heard from Fatima yet. So Fatima, will you be able to talk to us?
Sure. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sai, for getting me on the stage. So, dear Toastmasters, it was wonderful to be here today. I enjoyed the whole meeting very well, especially the speakers, and I loved the table topic. And it was amazing to be here. I was trying to attend the meeting quite wide because Toastmasters, I was our contestant in one of my club's meeting, but I couldn't manage to attend, but I today was able and loved being here. Thank you so much.
I want to ask if there's anything we can do better.
Everything was very well. So what can I recommend? There is nothing that I felt. Everything was amazing. We all were filled up.
If you think of something, please do let me know on through the WhatsApp group.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thanks. All right. We had Meenal. I know you were traveling, Meenal, and I was hoping to be able to induct you into the club today, but are you there? Not there. I don't see Meenal. Fazal, what about you? What did you think about the meeting? Was there anything that you wanted us to do differently? Anything we could do better? Something you've seen in other clubs that we could incorporate? You're on mute if you were saying something.
Hello, everyone. Good evening again. First of all, thank you so much for providing the opportunity to me to speaking from abroad. And it was really a very nice session with you, and especially the Toastmaster of the evening provided us with lots of information, particularly in the most of the clubs that I go here, and I do not see the people just sticking to the theme of the day. And here, what I saw was that everything is around the theme of the day. That is something amazing. And he provided us with lots of information, especially about India, the second largest country to speak English. That was really that added into our information, and never invaded any country. As a political science student, I know about many things, but it was new information for me as well. And other than this, everything was as expected, and especially the evaluation was also perfect. And I have been to India. Let's just taking the opportunity from it. And I have been to Nagpur, and there I had interaction with the people. And I have friends from India. And when I just got this message to join the club in India, I was very, I was excited to interact with you people. And we will be in touch soon, and looking forward to meeting again. Thank you so much.
Feeling is very much mutual. Please do feel free to share your meeting details, your club's meeting details with us. We'll make sure that somebody from our club is able to join your meetings and assist in any way, or give a speech there, or perform a role, anything you need. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
Ela, I'm going to put you on spotlight for 2 seconds just to ask you what you thought about the meeting. I know you're a guest. I know must be overwhelming for you, but is there anything you want to share?
It was a great first experience for me. Thank you all for being so kind and listening so patiently. actually. And also it was great to break the monotony of my daily routine. So yeah.
All right. So is there anything that you would have liked us to do differently? Maybe not put you on the spotlight when it comes to table topics.
No. No, I think it was a great experience altogether. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not going to tell something secret to Aditya. Don't ever ask me.
No.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. I have the results. Let's see. Did I speak to everyone? Did everybody get a chance to speak? That's the first concern I have. Rashmi got to speak. Mahesh, Fazal, Mukta, Sandhya, Manoj, he's a guest. So if he's available, let me ask him to start his video. And while Manoj is figuring out his video situation, if he's able to talk to us, let me quickly announce the results of our polls. Let's take the... Oh man, the room is split right down the middle for the best role player, the primary role player for the evening. It was neck and neck. There was a man who started off with questions and challenged us, and a man who gave us feedback and asked us told us how to improve ourselves. So the room thought that both Pranav and Aditya were excellent, equally excellent in their roles as the Toastmaster of the day and as the general evaluator. But in my role as the presiding officer, I am going to take an executive decision and award the prize for the best primary role player to our guest. Pranav, I'm sure you understand. You're an old hat at BKC Fireflies. So Aditya is the best primary role player for the evening. We're not going to let this prize be split between two equally good role players. We're going to give it to Aditya. Unfortunately, Pranav, sorry for your forced loss. The best auxiliary role player, no collywoggles there. Grammarian Kalpana was chosen as the best auxiliary role player for the evening. Let's go on to the best table topic speaker. Here too, Aditya was in the running. People were liking what he shared in table topics, but finally the room felt that Manoj was the best table topic speaker for the evening. The man who spoke about India and its various achievements and its role as a role model to the world. Manoj was the best table topic speaker. The best evaluator was me. And of course, you see this guy, he's the best. That's the room thought. I didn't say it, the room thought that. And finally, the best speaker for the evening was a woman who was extremely humble about her achievements. She wanted to share the credit with her teachers. That was DTM Mukta was chosen as the best speaker for the evening. And I'm going to take this moment to add her to the spotlight and ask her for some feedback on the meeting, what we did well, what we can do better, and whether she'll ever want to come back to our club.
Oh, yes, I'd love to come back, and especially because it's online, it's very easy to join you from Pune. And definitely I would love to come and listen to fantastic speeches, actually. Thoroughly enjoyed the meeting, loved the format. Love everybody's enthusiasm, and all the role players were really excellent. I just had one comment to make. I mean, it might sound a little strict, but at least in all my years of being a Toastmaster, we never have the general evaluator comment on speakers, because the speech evaluators have already had 3.5 minutes to comment on the speakers, and the general evaluator, even by the book, does not comment on speakers. So sorry, Aditya, I know you gave fantastic feedback, but it is just a comment that I have to make.
All right, so Aditya, lesson learned.
And from the master herself.
Yes, 3.5 minutes is more than enough feedback to one speaker. They're never going to want to give a speech again if there's more feedback coming to them all the time. All right. I don't see Ramanathan in the meeting anymore. I don't see Manoj's video coming on. So I think this brings us to the close of the meeting. Thank you everyone for being part of meeting number 130. Like I said, like we say all the time, we're small wonder, but we always have roles. We always have openings and opportunities for people to join us from wherever they are. Please do, if you see a call out going out for role players, please do take it upon yourself to join the meeting. It's on the first, third, and fifth Thursday of the month. It's online. You can do it from the comfort of your living room. With that, let me call this meeting to a close, and thank you everyone for a brilliant night that I thoroughly enjoyed, and look forward to seeing you on the 1st of February, which is the first meeting of February is the 1st of February. We look forward to seeing you there. And if you have any interest in taking up a role, the person to talk to is the Vice President of Education, Sandhya. Good night and good luck.
Thank you so much. Good night. Thanks, Sai. Thanks, Sandhya.
Night, and thank you so much.
For the opportunity.